Okay, hi everyone. I think we're live for round two of the Irish Summer Cup. Actually, there is no title on this video. I should put some. So this is the Irish Summer Cup. 18 players playing 5 rounds every Wednesday at 8 p.m. And we are in round two now. So um, there already have been a few upsets in the round one, but the games today again plan to be exciting. So we're going to review, as usual, board one and two. So board one is Gavin Rooney, White, who won against John last week. It was a tough game, and Gavin was our representative in Russia for the World Amateur Go Championship. And Matei is the Irish champion. So a very, very exciting game ahead. And board two will be James Hutchinson, who is former Irish champions, very, very solid two-dan from Ireland against Stephen Nulty and surprising 6K joining the board two. But Stephen is probably a bit stronger than 6K for sure, but still that will be a challenging game for him. So I'm also looking forward to the game. Just gonna check if we are really live. I think we are. I'll just check the chat here to make sure I try and see what's happening. Okay. So let's start. Basically, I will just need this screen here. Okay, so they are playing quite fast in the beginning. Let's see what happened. I recognize this Joseki, which I actually like, but I will have to review the variations, I guess. So Gavin is, they started with the wrong colors. So Gavin is black, he's supposed to be white. Anyway, that will do for this round. So let me change the title. So Gavin is actually black and Matei is white. Okay. So Gavin is starting with double Komoku, so trying to go for, I would say, a bit of territory, and he doesn't do a shimmery, so trying to remember what he did last time, but yeah, we faced a similar opening where basically black was trying to play very actively and play in the three corners. High approach, of course nowadays it's very modern to play the low approach, but I think AI also is playing high. The slight problem with this approach is you end up gote, so that's something that can make you play the low approach where there are a bit more variations, and you can, let's show an example. Well, it's like if you play like this, you either threaten to play R8 or let's say there is something like that. If white doesn't add a move, there is a very good point for black to play around here. So it's a bit easier to at least threaten to take Sante, whereas in these variations, nearly every time now white is playing this kind of move. Unfortunately, there are not so many pincers. There used to be a lot of pincers, but not so many now. And white has Sante to approach one of the corners. So, okay, I guess anyway, if black plays this way, it's, I would say, a beginning he is happy with, and pincer straight away. Okay, so this is a very exciting pincer, the one space pincer, probably the most severe pincer that you can find. Let's review a few of the possible variations. So this is one. You can also play here. Actually, that's probably, I'm actually not sure anymore about this jodeki either. I think something like that. And then there is plenty of variations. White can cut here, so it's a tricky variations, this one too, if you play the pincer. Um, what else? Usually you don't settle yourself straight away because it's very tight with the one space pincer. And otherwise, of course, there is these variations. So could play a very old style like that. Something like that, for example. That could be an approach. It's very nice for white in a way because white settled himself and black gets some territory, but not that great. Even if this move is nearly cente, or at least it's big. But usually people don't play like that anymore, so they are playing the other variations, which is very exciting. So this variation, I think technically speaking from the AI, it's a bit less good for black than, for example, just playing a simple Kosumi at the start, but it's actually leading to very exciting variations, and a lot of players are playing it. So recently I've seen, I think it's this move, which is, um, I think the idea behind this move is to be able to tenuki at some point. I'm trying to remember what Black's plays here. I wonder if it's not something like that, or maybe something like that. So the idea is to play away and let the black group leave small on the left. So you usually play that when there is when it makes sense with the lower left, of course. So I've seen that on a YouTube video very recently. I think it was Baduk Doctor, and he didn't know it either. So that's probably a very recent move. Probably some people studied it with the AI. It looks very dangerous in a way because you are creating a cutting point, but the target is clearly to take Sente. And this only works because you can Tenuki at some point, but um, maybe just like that, something like that. So of course you have to be careful with cuts and this kind of move, and so it's really not easy to know how to handle the life and death in the left, and also you are going to get completely surrounded on this end, so you've got to know when to do it. So in this game, black plays the more standard variations. So that's why maybe the one space pincer is not so easy to play. Usually, if you don't have a stone in the lower, if you had a stone there, something to help you a bit, it could be interesting. But with no help on the left-hand side, black is quite busy because you can see there is a lot of agi in this stone. And you're busy saving these stones too. So, and white shape is not great, but it's white is in the center, so white has ample space to do what he has to do. So anyway, that's a Joseki, so there is no problem for black. I just mean it's a busy Joseki for black. So I guess Gavin played that because he actually really enjoyed the fight here. And white plays this. So that's the old move. Nowadays, clearly the AI ask white to play this Kosumi, and it's quite a complex variation. So something like that. I think black has to be careful and play this move early enough because there are some ladders involved. Something like that. And there are too many variations for me to really say exactly what can happen. But as you can see, everybody is struggling to leave and there is weak groups in the center for both sides. So I don't think all the variations have been played out yet. Anyway, so this is the old variations. And I think that's the correct Joseki move. So that's Gavin probably knows this Joseki quite well. That's why he played it. I wonder if white plays there or is supposed to play it there. The ladder is also, I think it's good for black. Is it? Yeah, it's good for black. So that's why actually black probably can play this. But if white play this way, let's say this way, I'm not sure what happens. White played there. So this definitely is a superb move. So usually I think white just I wonder if black is not supposed to play this. Oops. I'm trying to figure out the Jose key that I don't remember. I don't know, something like that. It seems strange. I can't remember exactly what happens. I remember that there is a Tesuji, like something like that for white. I can't remember. Okay, so let's see what black does because it seems black knows this Jose key quite well. So this is definitely the point to connect. Okay, that seems a bit shy, I guess. So I think E17 and G17 are a bit shy. Basically, it's not putting enough pressure either on the left or the right. Probably white can at least afford to play that. Yeah, I think that seems reasonable. Black doesn't want to play this now because there is he doesn't know yet what would be. Well, maybe it's still the good moment to play that because if white push, you have induced 4 which you want to play anyway. And if white connects, I don't think white loses much here. So, but this is a bit nice for black because black has a bit more space to maneuver, and I mean even this kind of pressure move will be painful. Maybe this will not be that great, but yeah, maybe this and this. Something like that. Wow. Maybe that's a bit too early, so maybe just something simple. Oh, is that the game? Okay, so black actually plays this straight away and play this and this. Yeah. Okay, so black agrees with me that this move might be a bit too much. It's tempting because white played a bit, I would say, low with G17. So you want to take advantage, but there is no rush in a way, even if you play just this. I wonder though, because it seems like black didn't really use the fact that G17 was not in G16. So I don't know if white can cut. It's not so easy to cut. So question, of course, is that. So if you play simple like that, I think black can just get away and then you're really super busy. Or you can play there and you will be under terrible pressure. Like this, maybe, or just that. And then you can really kind of chase. So I don't know, I have the feeling I would like to play one just to take advantage of G17, and that's a bit nice. Yeah, so white actually can take more points on the top. So white probably catched up a little bit, but his shape in the middle is really ugly. So I guess white is wondering what's happening there. But yeah, nothing is happening. That's why this Jose key is playable for black. But again, I think, oh yeah, I think the play by white is something like that maybe, and or this and this, something like that. So 6, I remember A8, A18, I think is the Tesuji move to connect without losing too many points. But anyway, at this stage, it's very. I mean, I don't think white will play that now anyway. So, okay, so what do you think of this Joseki? Actually, I think it looks like a success for black. So I guess that's a success mainly because of this move, which basically doesn't put enough pressure. So if white really saved this stone, um, he can afford to play that. And that move is so big that and it's difficult for black to do any. I mean, even white can probably sacrifice a bit, but there is no easy follow-up for black on this stone. So I think that's the mistake that white did for now. Is to play this top move here at e18. So at the end, black got territory on the left and got a real weak group to attack. But I must say that probably h15 was also a bit of a mistake. So white is getting a bit too much space on the top. Okay, but this was really, I mean, this group is this group is not feeling very good, right? This is quite dangerous to play on this side. And also this move, it's very high, so it's not very clear what this stone will achieve. So yeah, I really love black move afterwards. This move looks really good. It really dominates the whole lower left. So for example, if black takes the San later on, this means the white stone will be a bit in a complex situation. So okay, so white jumps out. So I think black pushes from behind without any problem, mostly because he knows the top is still open. So it's like white don't want to play this. If white play this, there is still some space to create some shenanigans because the cut, like this cut would be a real problem. So not sure who would win that, but I mean, I don't. That's the only fact that this cut exists. It creates a very tricky situation for white. So basically, the shape here is not settled. White can play that, but again, there is so much agi, and for now, anyway, there is no real time for white to do that with the group in the center. So that's why black pushes because he knows he's not really creating territory on the top. But I wonder if it really helps him, or if he could just go this way, because pushing doesn't really help that much, and you have all four stones here, all these nice stones that were set in the beginning, which are waiting for the white group. So it seems nice to push in this direction, and it gives a bit of depth to the group. Whereas here, you still have cutting points, like I wonder something like that. I mean, if black has to solidify, that's stupid move I'm playing, but okay, maybe this move is not so great. What about this move? Looks a bit weird, but I guess the idea is that if white can solidify the top, it becomes good for him. But he has so much, his group is so weak in the center. So he decides to push. Is the idea to make an eye straight away? Okay. So this, of course, helped white, but it also helped black connected everybody together. And black gets ante, okay. So we can imagine that this kind of move will remove the possibility of a second eye. So if black gets very solid, he will be able to continue the attack, and it would be painful for white at some point to have to play this to have to play this or something like that. But it's dame point, basically it's not doing anything. So black here is going to consolidate his top group and limit the size of the top territory. Yeah, white's shape here is really bad. So of course white would like to be able to cut. It looks promising, but the shape here is a real problem. So first of all, there is this kind of thing I guess. And now you have a problem. So yeah, the shape is really bad. And white has to be submissive. So it's not like white did many points. Ooh. Okay, I wonder if black cannot play there straight away. So I guess the question is, what if white pushes? But I mean, this could lead to a trade, something like that. Okay, I don't know if it's good for black. So black takes time anyway. He's not in a rush, and he consolidates. Okay. So black is playing simple. He just attacked the first weak group in the center. He's now quite solid. I mean, there is a bit of ag in this stone, but for now it's solid enough. White gets some points on top, not ridiculous points. Something like 20 points nearly, a little less. And he got a corner of 15, let's say here. So he's got 35 points and this Oshi, but this Oshi looks like it could quickly be attacked. So that's a strategic moment for white at this stage. It's what do you want to do? Just checking if the last game of the round has started. I don't see it. I hope it will start. Okay, so white takes points. I think that's a good move, but you must not be scared for your group because I don't know, this kind of move is really threatening. Actually, I think that's the game move. So black goes for it straight away. So that's an option. The other option would be to, for example, come here, because in fact this San would become this white group could become a liability for white. So white might actually go for these variations. And now that you have consolidated the left-hand side in Sente, you can attack more easily because this kind of move, you are not really afraid of them anymore. Uh, but that can also be the other way around. So you attack the center first and then you try to do something like, you can even try something later on like that. Just, you know, to be, if you're super strong, you can really try to harass the Oshi because the Oshi is not alive. Okay, so we'll see if Q10 was kind of greedy or not. But it's not an easy position for white for sure. Probably not gonna die, but black will end up very solid. So. Okay, so black is really trying to remove the eyes, but here I'm not sure what he will gain from it because, I mean, even if white just go there, for example, or even there, or what he does in the game, it's kind of breaking the line here. And I'm not sure this stone is helping black so much because white played here already. I don't see what black is going to get from this stone. So I'm not sure in terms of direction of play if this is the best move. Maybe just go on building this way because now you can really, there is something to do with this Oshi. Like you want to harass it and make territory at the same time. I understand that with this move, you can probably try to invade deeply here. But I mean, anyway, you would like to play this move first because invading, if white has space to extend, it doesn't really make sense. Oh. So, okay, this move is a bit Ajikeshi though, because you can feel there is something there, like it's definitely creating a problem. But of course, again, as we have seen, there is the problem of this move. But I think that's Ajikeshi, like it doesn't look really good. So, but we can see why black was playing it. He wanted to make sure he can play this move and remove the eye. But that move I really don't understand. I mean, it's not like It's not like white is going, let's say you play this. It's not like white is going to play here. I mean, it's not time to leave yet, right? For me, it's a bit early to say I want to leave. So you want to try to break up a bit the center first. I don't know, maybe cut or push ones and jumps. Something that kind of gets you out of the net, but you don't want to. So, I mean, there is no rush for black to try to remove the eye, and it could end up weakening black. And it's actually, I think, weakening black. So I'm not sure what black get from this exchange because now let's change the color. So now white can probably push here. So it threatened. So this would not be good for. I don't think this is good for black. And if black doesn't answer that, like this, you can see that basically these two stones here that black just played will be more of a problem. Like they can become slowly an eye for white instead of being useful. So I don't think these two exchanges were good. Because if, I mean, if you play here and white play here, you can maybe even play here because this is threatening to make a false high here. So happy days, you got to move on the outside and white keeps. I'm playing this, but just to show you, I mean, it's still not perfectly alive. So, I mean, if you can play on the outside and have white play this way, that's perfect. But so why don't you want to chase him where you would like to build, basically? Okay, so white goes the other way around. I was thinking more this and this. And white play this. But here with the shape is so strong with the Kosumi, that's, I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah. So this is going, I think you could just pull down, pull back. I mean, because now, so again, as we were saying, it's not super clear what black is getting from this attack. He's attacking for sure. And he's, of course, a bit stronger than he used to be. So you can see in this sequence that I don't think the double Hane was very good. If you compare to this, I mean, white will play here anymore, and your shape as black is better. So I think this is a better move. Yeah. Okay, so white, that's good. I think white is trying to break the net. It's better than trying to leave, absolutely, because of course white can play now anytime playing here, but it looks really passive. So he's trying for something a bit more aggressive. But of course, the danger is that now at any stage, black can play here, maybe here, and maybe here. And of course, it's so difficult to kill this group. So that's why white say, okay, I don't mind. You cannot kill me. But when black will get solid on the outside, it will become a bit of a danger. So, okay. So obviously black is taking a lot of strength and going to try to take some points out of it. So white needs to do something. Yeah, white cannot just take points like that. I'm putting on purpose a very bad variations, but I mean, if black gets both sides, he will probably be ahead on points. So white try to first use the edgy. Oh, yeah, usually you don't have to push, but yeah, okay. I think you can just play it this way because it's, I mean, black has to defend also, and there is more agi to play this move. You don't really want to play this, and it's also damage Sumari. Okay, so white goes for a counter attack. I think that's very good because now there is two points that black would like to protect, but he doesn't have the time. So, and I'm not saying this group here is in trouble, but it's not 100% alive. So in the future, we could imagine that if white get this stone out, for example, we could imagine that white tries to kill this group. So By chasing white a lot, black created a few problems for himself, but white is still busy. So, oh, this move, okay. So this move wants to make me eye of pushing here, I guess, and cutting here. But I wonder if white could not just cut. So what a tricky sequence. So many things can happen here. I mean, let's say we play this. Can white play that now? I think so. Oh no, cannot. Okay, so white situation is a bit difficult here. So I guess this move works well. So that's probably why white goes for something a bit simpler, but this is going to damage a lot the corner. Yeah. So actually black goes for the trade. So he says, okay, take my cutting stones, end of the chase. White is going to capture all these cutting stones, and in exchange, black say, okay, I'm taking this 30 points corner. So I guess there is some magic here. If white plays a Sun, for example, it's probably not so easy to kill. So I'm trying a few variations here, but black is super solid, so you can really play this kind of move and kill, I guess. So this move is maybe good. But there is some magic anyway, because white is so close. I cannot imagine this dead, right? Yeah. So I don't think the corner is dead though. It seems white can probably get at least a ko there, or because there is monkey jump, maybe there are some move like that, which at least will be very big Yose. Probably white can get at least something like that for connecting back. So the territory is not fully black. Actually, I'm surprised that black didn't play this move. Because he's so strong on the top. I mean, it's not like there is really potential to threaten anything here. I think black can really ignore. So I think this move was more important because that's usually in the corner you have the more space. Maybe just this. Anyway, that's a difficulty. There are so many variations again. So okay, so white captured the. White captured the stones and black take the points for now. We'll see if it's real territory later on, I guess. Okay, so white goes straight away for that. So we said if white was stronger, he can try it. So white is not very strong because he captured the cutting stone, but still there is this stone here. So I don't see really, I guess it's just Yose, but is it really good Yose? Because probably black can play that first. I'm not sure it's a gain, an absolute gain for black. I don't know. Um, oh, actually, that's the game. Okay, so okay, so that's oh, so black, white really want to go for the kill, but as long as black can play this, I am not worried for. I mean, let's remember that. No, I was saying this is Sante, but that's not. Okay, so white really wants to kill something. They're playing super fast, so oh, so white played this. Yeah, so at least white is gaining that he's strengthening the right side, which is good. So what's the situation there? So if white connects, that will give black an opportunity to trash this side at some point. Oops, oops. Sorry, I jump ahead. And if white captures, is there something here? Cannot play that, so play that first. Maybe play that, so I guess there is not much. Okay. So black take these stones. So now it's over, I guess, for the chase. Because black and white cannot play this, of course. So black gets out, but white played a few important stones, like 1, like 2, 3. So white consolidated. So could he play something else? Maybe something like that. This looks a problem. So I mean, you can play that, and white. The problem is black can play that and live in Sente. So that's not very satisfying. So the overall chase, I think globally this whole sequence is much too early. Like there is, if you go out, for example, just this, there is, you can see this whole central stones are weakened a lot. So this will probably wake up the edge of this stone too. So I think white has a lot of potential in the center. And by playing this whole sequence, he's basically ruining it. He's taking a bit of points on the right, but black made a few points also because he captured these stones, 4 and 5. So I'm not sure white gained so much, and suddenly black is with no more problems. His all central stones are nearly safe. Of course, there is a bit of ag there, but this is you cannot save all the cutting stone at the same time. So black is basically safe, whereas before this sequence, black was in a deep trouble. Well, I really find that the overall sequence was quite good for white up to now because even there is a G here, and white can get out here and create a lot of threat. And maybe even white can go out first because you want to be able to threaten this area. So there are plenty of things to do, and basically one one is becoming a bit weak, 2 is becoming a bit weak, and 3 is becoming a bit weak. So this whole area would be no more points for black, and later on, once white is finished, I would say harassing the 3 groups, he can probably come back and use the edge here. In the game, he got nothing. He just got a few more points on the right, and black is safe. So I think at this stage, really, the game becomes very good for black because there is no more potential for white on the right. He can extend there, which is probably the best he can do, which is big because in the end he will have 35, 36 points. But yeah, he lost. I would say it's very good to keep weak groups, and now it's not very clear where are the weak groups for black. So in the game, he uses the Yagi this way, okay? I would have thought this kind of move was offering more potential to create some funny shape. at least eye shape, if not funny. But let's see, maybe this works. So black is playing to use the threat, the edge of the two stones. Yeah, I don't see this working really. So what is that? You can just leave, right? You can just connect, I mean. So that's a big yose, the fact that you can connect. Am I missing something? So white plays that. Wow. Okay, so it's a one-way street. Once black cuts here, it's a one-way street. Hmm. So what happens if black tries to capture? Oh, this is a core. Play that. This doesn't work, so let's play this way. This way. I don't see the problem for black. Is there a problem? Yeah, maybe there is a problem. If you play there, oops, if you play there first. Hmm. So what's the outcome of this fight? So I wonder why black doesn't play here. It's really tempting. So let's say white plays here first, and then, oops, and then here. Yeah, doesn't look very good for black. So this two move is really key, because that's the way to make sure that you have an escape route afterwards. And it gives you one more liberty. So, okay, so that's probably why black connected. But I mean, it's not very good either, because like, of course you can play that at any point, you can try these variations, but it's a core, so it's really, and if you play this way, there is a free eye for white, and he will get a second eye there. Okay, so Peter Casco won against Shinkoe. That was a huge handicap difference of 10Q. So I will look at the game later on, but I hope Chin managed to pull up some fights, but Peter won. And another game, Tom O'Shanahan, 4Q from Cork, and won against Roy Palmer, 9Q from Galway. So we have already two results. So I really think black missed something here. He probably, I think he should try, at least this is, I think this is still better than the game, right? At least you, so you cannot play here because now that's enough for white to kill. And if you cannot play here, this old sequence is not working, right? It's really a messy sequence. Okay, let's see what, so black tries to kill this way, okay. Okay, so no white is alive. Yeah. Okay, no, so black goes for the ko, okay. Really? So what happens if I mean black is not alive, right? White is not alive, so can he do a second eye here? Something like that. Yeah, it's true that this area is not very great, so I guess this move is painful. But you can play here first. You can even play here, because if white play that, no, you cannot. Okay. Well, yeah, you can actually. So I think black is missing a chance here. Basically, this is really not a co threat because of the lack of. So black plays here, connects the co. What are white options? If he plays a move around here, it's over. So white has. Oh, white can play this. But that's nearly the same. So you cannot play here. So you've got to play here. And then you've got to play what? So it's either you take this stone, but then you have only one eye, or you try to do two eye at the same, it's the same basically. And if you try this, then black can connect. So and this is pretty much the same. So your only chance is something around here. Try and use the edgy. But I don't see any edgy really. Even if you want to try to use the edgy like that. Okay, let's say it's like that. Can you do something here? No, you have to answer, and then there is no more edgy. So I think black one kills here. So maybe black is really missing a chance to kill the game here. And that would be interesting to review with an AI because I'm not the best reader. And so now it's still a co. So is this threatening the whole white group? Otherwise it's too small. Is it yes or no? So let's say white take, black take. Oh, can black take this way? Yeah, that's big. Because even if white leaves, there was a big capture, but actually I think that's still good for white because white get the whole corner, which was dead before. So I think that's a good game for white at this stage. And let's say black just plays here. Can white not leave the, oh, actually there is even this, no? And it's alive. So this time I think, I don't know, maybe white did that. No, white answers. So really this looks huge. And to go even further, you might want to update the name from PGA to Summer Cup. Okay, where is it in the Twitch channel? Oh yeah, I think, yeah, okay. I'm not sure I can do that live now. Probably I can. Hey, Peter.
Bring on Grealish. Where's the quality, bruv? Yeah, but you just said.
Can I edit that? Edit that. Oh, I'm hearing myself. Yeah, you're right. So Irish Summer Cup round done. Okay, done. Thanks, Peter. Very good. So I think at this stage, Matei is missing a chance to reverse the game basically because I think he was a bit behind. So if he takes the ko at this stage, black, we see that there are only two options for black. He takes, but then this basically makes the group alive. And even if black can take some more stones, I think with this kind of move, white might be ahead. Not sure though, but it's at least a chance for white. And maybe white can be more ambitious, play this first, in which case black might prevent white from doing that. But remember that there might be an option here to, I don't know, seems like there is potential here. So white, black must play that. And now the whole black group is also under attack, so it might even be dead. So I really think there is plenty of potential, and also white can go out this way or try to break the net here. So I really feel there are options. And if black takes, well, okay. Well, anyway, let's move on because they have been playing a lot of moves. So white answers. And this is even less a go threat, right? So now, no, not this move, but this move. So now what? So black, oh yeah, there is the, sorry, there is this move now. Or something similar to that, maybe. That is a problem. Yeah, okay. So now black has to answer. First time black didn't, but now black has to answer this one. Okay, so yeah, white has to ignore he doesn't have enough go threats. But that's big. That big, but is that enough? Like black has, where are black's points? Black doesn't have any points left. So he has around 18 points on the left. And now he has captured 8, 10, 12, 14 points plus the corner. So he have 25 points on the top. So he has 33 points. White have 5 more prisoners. He got the 3 stone in the center. He got the points in the corner. He got the corner at the bottom right. And he can play that now. Or actually, he plays that in the game. So I think white is winning this game now. So really, black messed up badly here. I think he's playing, he wants too much. Or maybe this move was in fact too much. So maybe, yeah, so actually, again, I think black played on the wrong side, exactly like I was saying on the, maybe, I think the weak side is f3 stone. So that's where black must start the attack. e8 is huge. Probably not now. Is huge looking. So now, I think, or in the game. Right now it's probably very big, you're right. But I mean, they're so busy with the fight anyway. So right now it's, the main thing is to know what happens with the corner. And if black plays from there, obviously white will try to exploit this agi. I agree. Like maybe even like this, or I don't know. But in the game, black pushes from here, which is already super strong. And we already saw that at this stage, white can connect, but then black tries this whole sequence and black misses the opportunity here to not answer this move. So I think at c10, black can connect and win the capturing race. But in the game, he played probably not big enough rate. So let's see what happens because the game is not finished. So now it's back to a user game. So we can see what white thinks he's ahead because he pulls back. So in a normal game, you would at least try to hane, right? Maybe this one looks dangerous, I agree, because you don't see necessarily how to answer that. But I think white can at least hane. So the only dangerous move would be this one. I mean, even if you play that, it's better than what was played in the game because I mean, what can happen now? It's no problem for white. So he has to ane like this. It's a bit too. It's gote. Okay, I think that's a big move because it reduces the. So now the only potential for black is really around here. So I agree that's probably the biggest area in the board, and white has some stone, so he can use the edgy. Okay, so you're the game now. I don't know if somebody is better than me at counting, but I really have the feeling white is ahead by quite a lot. And actually, as you mentioned in the game, maybe it was the enormous squirrel who said that, and I agree. So this is huge. You're absolutely right, because like black is going to die. So he has to give these stones. That's enormous, like probably bigger than that. And there is no, not, or maybe black can try something like that. So let white disconnect and try to leave locally, but that's so dangerous. And basically, I don't see a way for, oh yeah, white can black leave? No, that's not enough. No, it's not easy for black to leave, really. So yeah, you have to play that. You're right, enormous squirrel. Okay, so let's let them end the game. We'll come back for the result later on, and we'll move on to James versus Steven game. So review main title, I hide you. I put this one, James versus. So that's this game. It's a bit slower, which is good. And the main board is here. So I hope you are seeing the new board's position. So as you can see, they have played much more slowly, which is good because we're just starting the review now. So let me bring the review here. Okay, so James is white and Steven is black. So Steven, as I said, is officially 6Q in this game, and James is 2 dan, but Steven is a very solid 6Q. He's more 2Q. So the game might be quite in a tight one. And they are both playing quite slowly and quite seriously, I would say. They are not going into crazy fighting straight away. They usually, I would say, play a bit more solid, I guess, before going for the fight. So let's see what happens. They have played only 60 moves, so I'll probably be able to review it and then go back to see the end of the last game. Okay, so Steven is playing a double Sansan and James a double Komuku, so we can see people who love territory. And in this game, we have a double high approach, pincer, sorry. So in the other game, we had white play here, and it gets crazy quite quickly with this kind of sequence where white tries to have territory on both sides. You can see in this kind of configuration, it makes slightly more sense for white to play it because you have an ally in the bottom left, which makes it a bit easier. In the game, Gavin in the other game played it, even if it was a black stone, so I find it's a bit too aggressive, but okay, in this game, 70s style, yeah. So in this game, two space high, we know where it could lead. It can lead to very complex variations. Oh, that's so good to see a two space high jump. So actually, I really love these variations for black. I think it's very nice because you get Sante, you place elsewhere, and it's not so easy for white to play something. So there are plenty of variations, something like that. You can actually play something a bit like that, or white can try and be super hard and cut. It's super dangerous, and otherwise you can also, what can you play? You can actually have this kind of move where you try to use the thinness of the two-space jump, and then black can try to use the thinness of the other two-space jump to consolidate the shape. I'm just showing variations, random variations. I'm not even sure they're Joseki, but really, is it the I don't know which pincer we're talking about. This one is definitely 70s style, or maybe even more 60s or 50s. I don't know. Okay, so black goes for that. Sometimes people just play a pincer straight away, or a pincer like that, or even push first, and you can have this kind of sequence. Where basically black is taking a bit of strength before pincering. Because this, of course, white will counter pincer, and that's kind of make a nice extension from the previous pincer. So maybe it's a bit too, I think black is better off pincering now and trying to finish in Sente, which is not easy, and then approach. Maybe this is a bit too much. And goes for these variations. Okay, so I'm pretty sure James will play the AI variations because I saw him play it quite a lot of time. So yeah, so that's the push and this. Okay, so that's definitely the modern variations of the two-space low pincer, and it leads to so many variations. So that's the official, the most of. Oh, usually I think I thought white was pushing. Oops, one more time, maybe even two times before playing that. So I wonder if here there is an opportunity for black to play something crazy. So if you want to play something crazy, you have to play it straight away, like that. This doesn't seem to work, which is a pity because it would be good. So that doesn't work, right? So I don't know. Maybe you can play that actually. It's probably, I think black has to answer. It seems like you want to play a crazy move, but probably, yeah, I have to stick to. Okay. So it's definitely not the Joseki I knew because usually white pushes, but I can't find a good way for black to kind of take advantage of that. Oh, yeah, no, now it works, right? So that's really strange from white. But this just capture the cutting stones, and that's really too good for black. Like you would never expect this to happen. Okay, so I guess so James is a recent dad, so I guess he has some small knights. So maybe he didn't see the Geda, but or he thought protecting this stone was more important. But yeah, so of course white can still play this kind of move, which is Sente, so it's not ridiculously small, but sorry. I mean, later on white can extend a bit, but that's still too easy for black, considering he was pincered and white had two stones in the area. It makes life too. So that's why usually white pushes at least two times, because I mean this is too painful. So white can push and come back, and then that's a normal game, I would say. But white is chased, but black is chased too. Okay, so I guess black was quite happy with that result. And wow, that's really unexpected. It nearly looks like a misclick. So first, black doesn't answer the approach to the Sansan, which is perfectly possible, of course. But is it really needed? Like black can play at least this maybe and play elsewhere. It gives him a bit of breathing space. And also, why this move? Like, if you want to attack the two stones, then I guess it's probably better to make your shape a bit stronger first, something like that. I don't know. Just, strengthen yourself. Because the two space jump is super thin, so you cannot really attack with it straight away. And if you want to play in this area, at least maybe this Ogema maybe might be better than the Keima, or maybe just a kind of cap. But this looks, so first of all, at any point, white can just block and have a life base, and it's not very clear what black gain from that. It's not even sure that white can still not, let's say this, it's not perfectly clear that it protects the cut fully. If you want to really stabilize yourself, I would play here. I think it makes more sense. But I still think answering the Oshi is the biggest area on the board because it's still very big for black to play this way. So you can play this or you can play this. There are many options. Anyway, so in the game, of course, white goes for points. So that's James playing this way. He wants to catch up because he gave some strength to black. So I think he will play a game where he will say like, okay, you have some strength, I'll take the points, let's see how you use it to do something, and he will tenuki. So you can see he basically gave up his stones on the left, pushing black to add more and more stones around that, because the more stones black add to try to capture them, the less valuable they are. So in a way, either white can then survive and then all these stones have been lost, or white can sacrifice them, and because white invested so much, it's not so dramatic. For example, this stone at b13 will be, let's imagine at some point, okay, let's imagine you've got something like that. And something like that. You can see that this stone at b13 will be lost, and that's the whole idea about this kind of strategy, is to say, okay, you've played a few moves inside your own territory, so in a way they are lost move. So white caught up here. I guess maybe not caught up because the ignoring Q4 was a mistake. I would say so. Again, that's just my opinion. But I really think it's bigger to answer this. Yeah. And again, if you play in this area, it's going to be really interesting. But maybe if you want to attack, you have to be solid first, because right now there are too many cutting points in your shape. And so usually you would kind of lean a little bit on this area and then trigger your attack. And also, yeah, I think white caught up a little bit, but it's not so. I mean, the capture at e5 was huge. Like it was a massive blow to start with. So now white will take time to recover from it. Black invades. Okay, so we can see white said, I'm going to Tenuki and leave you these stones. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so kind of makes sense. As long as white can stay on the top, he's not very worried. Remember, he has this kind of move, which are Sente. I was wondering if he could not play that. And I think as white, I would not worry too much about these stones because they are too close to the wall. Not really interesting. Plus, there is still this move later on, so I would probably play there or try to cut this two space jump. It's really a kind of weak point in black shape. And if you have something like that, you could see that b13 will look so strange. So you want to make b13 look strange, basically. You can feel b13 is not a good move, so you want to make it look strange. Another option actually would be to play that, because now in a way black has to run away. And well, it's not very clear exactly how black will fix the shape, because white has many options against, because he can Tenuki, sacrifice part of it because he already played once away. So it's the same reasoning, because you have b13 already in place, you can nearly see d12 as a Kikashi. So yeah, it's basically like 1 and 2 was an exchange that white made, and You can see if you remove this stone from the board, suddenly the area is very wide open. So okay, so straight away white goes for a solidification. So I think that's maybe a bit too much because now white has a weak group. So I would say white can probably play something light. You don't have to stick to every stone. Maybe even like that. It looks lighter. You have more space in the center. If black really wants to go for it, okay. I mean, in a way, you don't mind, so you can play elsewhere. This makes the group really heavy. So now you have to defend it. Like if something like that happen, okay, now you have a weak stick and you need to really get it out. Yeah, so black is playing well now. He's leaning against the stone on the top, which makes perfect sense. So he's protecting his weakness. And you can see how B13 kind of now look a bit useful, which in a way show that now it's white who put too many stones. So because white put many stones, it kind of justify these stones. So I think white made black move look reasonable. Okay. This approach soft. Which approach, yeah, Peter? Sorry if there is a bit of lag, maybe. D11. Yeah. D11 is. I'd say at this stage it's okay, but now white has to either play super light or even this and try to use because if at some point yeah, something like that actually. Let's play these variations just to see how it looks. If at some point white can kind of sacrifice these stones lightly, he will be very happy. I mean, they are not cutting stones. The group at the bottom is completely alive for black, so they are not important stone. At least not each of them. Of course, if it's getting swallowed super large, like if it's being swallowed like that, of course that's bad. But that's why I think white can really play lightly, something like that or like that. You don't need to stick to every single stone. So this move is good if it's Sante, for example. So I guess the idea here is that white wants to play something like that. Maybe, but you don't want to play this move anyway. So yeah, so I'm not sure. So I think really this move is not good for white. It is helping black uh, make all his stone useful. Yeah. And now we have that. So okay, so because white answered there, this is more solid against the corner, so that means there is a bit more weak points around here. So I guess that's the plan for white. But it leaves some forcing move around here for black. So that means black will be able to, or here, it means black will be able to enclose the center at some points or the top side. But it makes, the idea is clear for white. You want to keep this whole group here potentially attackable. You want to say, okay, it's not fully alive, so at some point I might attack it, which is a good idea. I think white needs to keep this potential, but black is clearly ahead at this stage. So black has solid capture at the bottom, a huge potential on the right, some potential on the top because some move like J17 are nearly Sente, a weak group to attack if needed, and he's super solid at the bottom, so he can play probably as close as 1 or 2, and he can play maybe 3 first and then 4. So you can see black has potential everywhere, so that's good for him. Okay, so white invades because he knows he's behind on points. Okay, so this move, I don't know. I know it's very Sante in a way because you can kind of threaten to kind of use the edge of the stones, but I wonder, like, maybe you want to play this way, right? I mean, at least you're stable as black. There is a new weak group from white, so if there is a new weak group from white, that means And that means you have potential for attack with splitting attack between the group on the left, the group on the right. So I would find that promising for black. This looks a bit too far away from the stone, and also it helps white build the lower side. Now it really helps white builds the lower side. Okay, so black wants to trigger the attack, which makes sense now that he has played this move. And the honey, okay. That's why this strategy overall is not easy, because it's not easy to know how to attack these stones really. Like, so if you want to use the wall you just built, you have to play something like that. But I mean, again, white can play super lightly, and he can even attack your group. So it's not really easy to attack. And if you attack from the other side, let's say something like that, then you're gonna be reduced, and I don't know, something like that. So there is no big attack on these stones really once white played that. So that's why the overall attacking stance is interesting, but you cannot attack directly basically. So maybe you can even start the opposite, like induce this kind of move and push white to make your stone closer to the stone you want to attack. Okay, so black really wants to attack now, so it's clear. Yeah, so white is going to stabilize. Ooh, yeah, okay. So black is making a lot of points. Okay, so I don't think black really can attack this group at all. It's too out in the open, and black has too many weaknesses too. So you can see black is now have to add a stone, but maybe white can even play that. And you know, it's not very easy to see what black has been building. Yes, of course he has consolidated 15 points in the corner, but I think the shape is, as we say, too settled. Like there is no more edgy left to do things. All the moves were played, so slowly we can feel that maybe black will be under attack. And the fact that there is now this stone here was really a huge loss for black. Like now the bottom side is becoming quite big for white. So yeah, this attack on the right side not working really fine. I think these push are very damaging. So you have to play them only if you're absolutely sure that you can use the stone effectively. Whereas a move like this could be big, really. Or so let's play the whole sequence. Something like that. Maybe like that if you want to keep a high stance. Or you can start attacking now. Like you can play this, or you can play this. Start attacking this way and see, but I don't know. There is something not working in black strategy here. I think this Hane on the second line particularly is too slow. Like there's too much space in the open for white, and this is a bit too small in terms of territory. Okay, so black goes here and white takes the top. So now, of course, it's not black stop because there are so much edgy here with this kind of move. So a move around here is definitely Sante. So you can see the top is definitely not a white territory, but black is putting a foot there just to say at least it's not a black territory yet. So it's a very open game. I would say probably pretty even at this stage. So white gets a big territory at the bottom, at least nearly 15 points, and this little corner, which is not yet fully settled, but which will be probably 8 points. 23 and some potential on the top. So around 30 points and Komi, and black gets 15 points in the top right, a few points in the capture here, 5, so 20. So he needs to find 15 points on the board, which is more than doable with the attack on the left-hand side group. So I still probably would prefer to play as black, but now that there is a kind of weak group here, and some weak stones here and here, it makes the game a bit easier for white than it used to be. Before that, white had no group to attack, so it was very difficult. Okay, so black goes for the invasion straight away. So again, the idea is to deprive white from any points. And oh, so okay. So I think this is calling for this move because, well, obviously you want to play that. Okay, no, this move is not working. Sorry, I was really misreading here. Well, we can of course still play here. And that's working nicely, right? So still looks like the good move, in fact. And when you play that, that's difficult for white. So is there a good move for white? So if you play this is drama. This doesn't look good, really. Like, of course, you have a bad shape with A and B, but can white use this now? Of course, it's very dangerous for black, but the white group in the center is so weak that it seems really playable. But maybe it's too much. Okay, so maybe black can first go out. Okay, this doesn't work. Okay, so black gets a bit of outside, but white is too solid now. So that was really not a good sequence for black. And okay, so black want to cut now. So I guess the idea is if white plays here, white wants to cut, which might be a terrible idea. So how do you get out of that? You can of course try that, but so I guess the only way out is here, but that's not sure it's good either. Anyway, so I'm not sure the cut is a good idea, and I just played the most basic Geta, but there might be some more interesting things to try. Okay, I guess this is working fine, so you have to, I mean, oh, they played the cut, okay. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, white is in no big danger because he can go out this way, and then he can connect this way. So it's not like white is in super trouble. And I was wondering if white could not play here, but I guess white wanted to be, and it doesn't really protect the cut, so I guess that's why. Okay, so we'll see. That's the last move. So I guess we can go back to um, Gavin versus Matei. It's maybe over by now. So I'm just gonna show the review. Review, main board review. So is the game finished? So where were we at? We're in the Yose. Yeah, black just played that. Do you see the screen? Do you see the? Okay, so so that's the Tesuji C18 and then A18. That's what I was showing initially. I was not 100% sure, but it works. Okay, so if I counted well at the time, I thought white was ahead by quite a lot, or at least was winning. Oh, so he's playing this variation. Okay, that's the one we all wanted to see. Wow. Yeah, so that's the end. Like it was already good game for. Yeah, so at this stage, I don't see how black could win this game. Even before that capture, I think white was ahead. So now that makes white ahead by quite a lot of points. Okay, so what's the score here? white by 12 points. Okay, so that would be interesting to see. So white, Matei won. Congrats to Matei for winning this game. White by 12.7. What's the score? It doesn't exist, sorry. Maybe I should look at the real game to understand what the final score is. So in the real game, yeah, 12.5. Okay, so white was ahead as planned, so oh, I wanted to check if with the AI, maybe if oh, sorry, you don't see the AI review, so that's just checking if black could connect the core when I thought he could. Oh no, he doesn't seem to be able to connect the core. So I said rubbish at some point. Yeah, so white lost the game when he played the core threat that white didn't answer, basically. So as soon as white captured the bottom left, he becomes ahead by 9 points. So it goes from black slightly ahead from a half a point, and then okay. Okay, so that was really good game by Matei. Interesting, because I think it's a very good example of a game where chasing a group without building anything out of it doesn't work. And we could see that at some point black was playing move to try to kill white, but we couldn't assess what was the benefit from it. So it was not clear that black would benefit from the attack. And in the end, I'm looking at the AI review right now, and it's quite true. So when black is attacking, we can see that he's actually not gaining anything. And he's actually increasing white lead. So that's really interesting to see, like black chasing and white increasing his lead, because in a way the stone that black is playing are dame. So that's a very interesting game to review, really. The beginning was very balanced. Black took a slight lead and then tried to kill too hard, or at least to chase too hard without any big enough benefit. And the core was the last, I would say, big challenging moment when white played a move to try to use the core to make the corner leave, and black tried to kill, which was interesting, but he missed the key threat. So I'm not sure what was the good move. But when oh yeah, he had one more core threat, so I guess after that he was supposed to ignore any core threat. Anyway, very interesting game by both players. And I guess Matei is the first player with 2 wins, so let's see who we will play in the next game. And let's go back to our review then. We're reviewing James versus Stephen. So I'm going to put back the title. So we're back to James versus Stephen, and I'm putting back the review of James versus Stephen. Why can we not see the review? Oh, because I completely messed up the URL. Sorry for that. Okay. Do we have any other score, by the way? I think the other games are still playing, I think. Actually, I hope that Carol game versus Pedro took place, because I don't see any news from it. I can see, let's maybe have, I'm just having a quick look at, oh, so Rory won against Neil. So Rory was classified as a 10Q, but we all know he's a bit stronger than that, and he beat Neil, who was classified as 7Q, I think. But yeah, so okay, that was 5.5 points, so that was a close game. Are there any other score I can share with you? Oh, Owen versus Piotr. What is happening there? They are in the final stage. Who is winning? Black is winning. So Owen is winning against Piotr, it seems. Is he really? I'm not sure. It's difficult to count. I'm not so sure. Okay, probably a close game too. And John Courtney versus Kian is still playing too. And what's happening in these games? So there is a big group here which looks alive. Black got plenty of territory, but white also. Wow, too many points. I cannot count. Okay, other interesting game to check later on. But let's come back to our game. So we have the review live here. So black just cut when we left black. So now white is cut in two, but black's shape is not perfect. So let's see how white handled that. So he played this schema. I think he could have played it earlier because now he's a bit of, I would say, in a rush. For example, let's take an example. What happens if black tries something like that? I wonder, can white cut? I'm not sure white can cut. So it seems to me black, oh, actually black plays that. So that's very interesting. So black counterattack. So do you see why playing a move at the good timing is important? Like I think white could have played this game much earlier and for sure it would have been answered, probably like that. And now black sees the opportunity to counterattack. So very well played by Steven, I think, if it works. It looks to me to be working. Yeah, so is that the shape? Yeah. So anyway, it's really well played by Steven here because white gain nothing from this exchange. So look at this, like white get 1 and 2 and black get 3 and 4. And it's not even an eye for white. Like if white plays, the only thing white could get from that is an eye here, and it's not even an eye. So that's really a great result for Steven. Is it possible to watch the other games too? Yes. So if you go exactly, thank you, Peter. If you go to the Ireland group on OGS, you will see all the games remaining. So there are 3 exciting games remaining, the one we're reviewing and 2 others. The other games are probably already finished or not in this room, but yeah. Thank you, Peter. Okay, so now white is trying to go back to these stones, but you can see that the exchanges he played really help black handling the situation, so now he can play quite safely. Okay, so black is nearly trying to go for the kill. Interesting. Okay, so we can see the plan from white, but is it working? Like, what if... So let's study a few variations. So first, what if black connects and then try to unclose? So you need to do an eye here, right? Yeah, so you're alive, but really barely alive. And of course, you could probably try to kill, but then that would become a bit unreasonable. And now I guess the most important question is, can you play here? Probably not, because this is also Sante, and then you have the cut here to protect. So, okay, that was well played by white, but that's actually why I think here black can play here. Really, it's safer. It's a more secure shape, and the most important thing, it allows to play a move like that later on, or you can feel this move will be more Sante. So it put more pressure on the bottom group, whereas this one you can feel there is a problem in the shape. So that's the game, or what's the game? Okay, so we're still here in the game. Yes, so I think black doesn't have so much choice because he needs to live with his group on the right. So I think he will play. The question is, yeah, probably to play here. Then the question is, white will probably play here, right? You don't have to be submissive and play here, because this really helps. Like, probably you cannot play this, right? Yeah. So you can. How do you follow up that first variations with small life for white? This one, this. I'm not sure if you see the screen that I'm seeing because there seem to be some lag, but okay. So yeah, it's even Sente, so you can probably play there first, but now you have to come back here. And then many choice with black, either you want to favor these stones or you want to play here, but you have to leave the edge of this, which might be painful, so it's your own choice. I see the game between Owen and Piotr is finished, I think. And yeah, Owen won by 5.5 points. Well done to Owen. Very good game. He might play Matei in the next round because I think they will both have two wins. Okay. So back to the game, trying to go back to the game. So actually that's what they played. So black played this, white played this. So I think that's conservative. Yeah, so I really think, okay, so we were just showing this variation, so that's the game move. I think white should play here because he's directly threatening these stones anyway. Let me show you again. So if he plays here, okay, what can black do? Like black won't play that, otherwise he really has a problem here. Or even just, just this, and basically white is capturing these 4 stones on a large scale. So yeah, I think this move is too conservative, just because there is a damage summary. Of course, if you can push and cut, that's another story, but you cannot. So you can push once, play this, but then, or maybe black can just play that, because what you want as black is you want to attack this now. You are super strong on the outside, so actually this will probably be what happened now. Okay, so black plays the super solid variation. Because he is making me of 2 things. A move like that, okay, that just played, and 2. So I guess now the perfect move for black would be to turn here and to try to attack this group, right? You can even try to make a splitting attack now. So in terms of points, white has 8 in the bottom left, probably at least 15 in the bottom right, so 23, and 10 on the top, considering there are the prisoners. So 18 and 15, 33. And now he has captured 2 stones, so 37, 38. And the com is 45 points for white. And black doesn't have 45 points. He has 12, 13 in the top right. Maybe a few points on the left, 15, let's say. And then the captured stones, at least 5 points, so 20. So he needs to make 25 points out of the attack. And that's not easy, but that's doable, because first you will be able to harass both group, and should help you make at least some point in this area. Oops. At least some point in this area. And also you should finish in Sente, so you should be able to play this kind of move. So maybe even this kind of move. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can play that, but yeah, these kind of things. So there is potential for black to extend the territory. I would say white did whatever he could now. He has Tenukid multiple times, lived on the top, lived on the right. So now it should be black's time now. It should be black moment. So let's see how he used that. So I would have turned at J18 because you want to keep this group weak, but black is going straight for the group on the left. Okay, and white tries to counterattack, which makes sense. That's what the whole point about his move at C18 was, to say, okay, this group is a bit weak, so I will be able to counterattack. So I agree, and I think probably black should play from this area because that's where he is really weak, whereas this stone here, 1, 2, 3, they are quite strong, so you can play, you can push white against them. Or with the same idea, use your strong, don't play from your strong stone, but play towards your strong stone. So if this is too close to the strength, and this is helping white attack the weak group. And that's an horrible shape. So that's, I think black should play here. Oops. Because the shape is as good, and I mean, of course, there are these kind of things, but anyway, you cannot get everything right. So, but well, okay. I mean, that's okay. It's just that white will be able to play here at some point. So definitely, this group is super hard to attack. And now we can see that it's becoming more and more too late to play this kind of move because you had time to bring friends at one, so you can connect your two weak groups together, and the whole potential in the center is gone. So to come back to the initial thing, I think it's a bit too brutal to attack. You have to turn first and maybe then do a split attack. But maybe even better, you can attack now because I mean, white doesn't have real time to do that, right? So you can always play it a bit later. You should be able to keep Sente at least, something, let's say something like that. Now you can play here and white has to connect, or you can even play here because now white, it's difficult to play this. So many options, but I think this is a bit slow and this is a bit the wrong direction to attack. Okay, but white added a move here, which is a bit strange. I mean, it brings a bit of eye shape, but I would prefer to jump in the center for once. Or maybe to make me eye of, or even to connect, like just, but that's maybe, I mean, if you connect, it's big in terms of points. And the good point about connecting is that you still have a cutting point at A for later, but maybe it's not, you don't have time to do that. So, okay, this move is okay. I just would expect maybe more in the center because just like, let's say you are harassed this way, you can see there is a bit of potential building up for black in the center. Okay, so black is doing it this way, but I don't know if it works. Like, there's still a ko here, right? So why would you allow ko when you can just block? This at least is very clear, like it's disconnected and you can try to split. There is really something to do here, but this stone, okay. Now there is no more ko, but you have lost Sante, so I'm not sure if it was a good idea. Okay, so now I guess what can white do? What can black do? Maybe black has a lot of strength on the right, right? So even this is Sante. So this probably doesn't work because you can have this ladder. But this works, yeah, or this, oops, or this. But I mean, there is this cut, so Okay, so both players are playing very clean shape now. And that's an exciting game, really. So we can see White really turned the table. He lived on the right hand side and he forced Black to kind of kill something and or at least make a lot of points from the attack. And it's not obvious how Black will make plenty of points from the attack because of his weak group. So I mean, this whole dragon is not alive yet, right? So it's not in immediate danger of dying, but it doesn't have two eyes. I think Steven has gotten a lot better recently. Yeah. Of course, yeah. He's playing a super clean game now. I mean, the game looks really even up to this point. So White made a few mistakes that are unusual for him. I think fatherhood, which makes absolute sense. But even with that, there are very few mistakes in the beginning. Like so, Black played very well up to there. There is B13. B13 is really a mystery for me, so we can ask him later on if it's a misclick or if it's his real move. But apart from this B13, that he made use of afterwards because White played this. This is good, very good. This attack was maybe not the best, we saw it, but um, yeah, it was not the best. This sequence of move here, where there was a few direction mistake, I think, but this was very good. This was very good. And then this step cut shows a lot of fighting spirit, and this move is really good. Like it's really building the center, so very good sequence here. And now it's the moment where it's difficult because you have to use these strengths to do something, and I think you don't have time. You want to play this, but you don't have time. So at least maybe play that, or straight away I would attack this group maybe, or turn to just first attack this one. I don't know, something like that, and now go for it. It's really not easy to attack this group though. Maybe you can just play this because you're so strong here. You can always come. So something like that. But I think there is a few mistakes in this attack in the end, but like this move. But yeah, overall, I don't think James is finding this game easy at all. Okay, so classical shape here. So this won't work, but this might give some potential for Black because this kind of move will be Sante at some point. So Black now will try to get some compensation at the bottom, but yeah, this kind of move, it's so big for White. So maybe it was better to play on this area, right? The problem is even if you manage to cut, so first of all, I don't think you can cut, but it's really not easy to attack. Maybe this kind of move. Yeah, maybe try to at least be threatening enough in center, and then the problem is you want both the center and the bottom, but the bottom is so big. I think the move he played in the game are giving too many points. Yeah. So at this stage, Black is really behind because this area is gigantic. And Black, there is no potential here anymore. So these two things combined makes a huge lead for White that he didn't have initially. I mean, even at this stage, I would prefer to play. If I have to play somewhere, I would prefer to play there, like something like that. I mean, I think it's bigger to take this bottom than the center because the center is with K12, the center is gone anyway. And you will the best you can build here is really around this area, so that's around 20 points, and just by this exchange when white plays 1, you're basically giving them back already. So that's really important. Like when you remember to build a center, it has to be huge and it has to be solid. And right now it's white turn, so white could even just jump here and there is no more points. So basically you just use these moves for nothing. But I think white can play once more anyway, because the shape is bad also. So black goes back to attacking because he realized the game is slipping out of his hands. But that's really not easy. Yeah, not sure how black can recover from that. These M5 K4 exchanges were really damaging. So to come back, I think at this stage it's still okay. It's a pity that white lived this way, but I think black doesn't have time to play that basically. He wants to play that because it's Honte, it's super solid, it brings potential strength for the future, but you don't have time. So you have to attack very strongly, I don't know, something like that. And when it's done, you just turn and you kill. I don't know if you can, but you have to try. And even like that, in terms of points, that makes a huge difference because there is less points at the top. But we can see why this whole sequence here was a loss. Like, compare this to this sequence, where basically, well, you can even play that, or just play this. So I think this is much more interesting. So for example, if black starts this way, and or even this way, just it makes black group so less weak, basically so much stronger. Whereas here, white is completely alive, super thick, makes some points, and there are still so many cutting points in black shape. And then this push and cut was ambitious, really. Like probably again, black can just attack. But this is all the consequence of this sequence, which didn't go well for black. So basically, white ended up being too solid here. Look at this. It's a black area. We have 1, 2 stones. So we have A, B, C, D, E. So all surrounding this kind of gigantic area. And at the end of this sequence, what black gets is basically the only stone which is really interesting is A. And white got B, and more important, there is no more black points on the right, and there is even a weak group for black. So I think white gets something really too nice from this sequence. I'm going to go to the real game to see if they're still thinking what's the timing. Okay, so black resigned at this stage. So yeah, makes sense. Honestly, black cannot catch back the points. There are too many points at the bottom. So well done anyway, Steven. Superb game. Well done, James, to handle the situation well, and he came back from behind because the capture at the beginning was really a hard blow. Okay, well, thank you everyone for listening. I think we have the scores from nearly all the games, or did I miss one? I think I missed one, but I can't remember which one. Oh yeah, I missed the result. So John, what was your result against Kian? If you're still here, that's the only one I didn't see. Okay, you won by how many points? 20 points. Okay. Well done, because Keen is a tough opponent. So, well, I guess, well, I'll see what the pairings comes out with. That will be an interesting one to see. Um, so there is one game I didn't see starting. I hope it started between Carol and Pedro. So I'll check if it started out of the Irish room. And tomorrow, for those of you who wants to look at the game, okay, I'll have a look. And tomorrow, Clara versus James. So interesting game ahead. Also at 8 p.m. if you want to see some more Go. And I'll check if maybe I can check with you if Carol started her game tonight or if there was a problem. I didn't hear from Pedro, so I hope this is because he could play the game properly. Yeah, they played. So okay, so Carol won by 70 points. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess that's it for tonight. We have all the games results except Clara versus James, which will take place tomorrow. Thank you all. See you next week, or see you tomorrow for the last game, or see you next week, same time for um, the third round. Yes, I think Matei and James have 2 points each. Absolutely, and I think Owen also gets 2 points. So I see what the pairing system comes up with, because I'm always surprised. So I don't want to make any. Actually, Peter might also have to win. So probably Peter against Owen and Matei against James. But that might be the other way around. That might be Matei versus Peter and James against Owen or something like that. So we'll see. Thanks, guys. Talk to you tomorrow or next week.